And good evening, everyone. It is that time of evening again. Time for Natchez Renewal Radio right here, 97.7 The Beat, NatchezRadio.com. In the studio, we got the one, the only, Mayor Dan Gibson. Good evening, young man.
Hello, Mr. Leon. How are you? Good evening.
Hey, man, I'm trying to stay out of the heat.
Listen, though, we can't really complain.
No, we cannot.
If you get up early enough, it's really nice. And then
now
if
you tell me.
And then if you stay up late enough, it's really nice.
Now
there
you tell
go.
me.
I will say it's been very pleasant the last few mornings and evenings. I actually went out last night, had a wonderful time. I got to go to the dedication service of a new church right here in the Miss Lou, Smithland Baptist Church. Not a new church itself. That church has been around a long time. And the pastor has been pastor now over 20 years, and that is Reverend Dr. Ernest Ford Jr. Got to get all this right. Well, Reverend Ford has been with his congregation building this church for several years. They've been wanting this vision, and they finally, over the past year, built this beautiful new edifice, Smithland Baptist Church. And it's north of town on 61 going toward Cannonsburg, near the Stanton community. I was there last night, and Reverend Ford Sr. brought the message, the choir. The church was packed, but I want to tell you, it was such a gorgeous evening to be out there praising the Lord. When I left that church, I opened the windows up, just got that fresh air coming back, and thought, okay, I think there may be a little touch of fall in the air. Now, I'm an optimist, and I'm sure there are those who will say, oh, no.
No.
But, hey,
no.
For August, it
was just wonderful Mississippi fresh air.
That's what it was. Mississippi fresh air.
That's what it was.
Hey, you know, though, speaking of church, we are so blessed to have so many churches in our area, and it was so great to be there worshiping with them last night, Smithland Baptist Church, and they're going to be there again tonight, tomorrow night, and on through the rest of the weekend, even up to Sunday. But this is their dedication series, and being with them last night for the dedication of that church is a real blessing. And so a shout out to Reverend Ford Jr. and his father, Reverend Ford Sr., and everyone there at Smithland. We're real proud of you.
Absolutely.
And I think Reverend Melvin White is bringing the message tonight. Should be a really good message. Started the day off this morning welcoming a group of educators from all over our region of Southwest Mississippi, and this was the Head Start Conference for MAP, Mississippi Action for Progress. It is the group that took over a few years ago our Head Start facility here in Natchez. Boy, that was great. A few hundred people, and we really had a good time. Great. And just so many good things about our youth, and you know, school started yesterday, and I just hope everybody is getting into gear. The great thing about Head Start, I've been a supporter for many years, Mr. Leon. We actually had this going in Natchez when I was mayor there, and over 30 years ago, I guess now, I was actually involved in the building of a permanent Head Start facility in Crystal Springs. Oh. Did I say Natchez?
Yes, you did.
I'm tired. It's been a long day.
Not a problem.
And that's funny. I used to say Crystal Springs sometimes here in Natchez. Let me get this straight. But in Crystal Springs at that time, they were meeting in trailers. And these trailers were in bad repair. When it rained, it was a real mess. And so we had some city property. And we were able to work with a nonprofit at that time called Friends of Children, Dr. Marvin Hogan. Dr. Hogan's wife, many may recall, the wonderful Dr. Beverly Hogan, longtime president of Tougaloo. But we worked with them and worked with a state representative at the time, who is still a friend and from Natchez, actually, Tom Wallace, and built a beautiful brick and mortar facility for Head Start, and it's still there in Crystal Springs.
Right.
I passed it not too long ago. Any attempt to cut Head Start would be a real mistake, because in many cases these are children, kindergarten on up to pre-K, who, if it weren't for Head Start, wouldn't be getting this opportunity for early learning in reading and arithmetic. And it is proven, the studies indicate, that this is why we're seeing our literacy rates increase in Mississippi, is because of programs like Head Start. I was there this morning with our own Sheriff Travis Patton, and it was exciting to hear him bring a welcome to the group and to share the fact that he himself is a product of Head Start. He even pointed out his teacher, who still is involved in Head Start, who taught him when he was just a little young tot going through Head Start.
Wow.
I said, my goodness, she must have been a kid herself when she was teaching him. So a shout out to all the teachers, all of the faculty, staff, all of those who make our schools work, and also to our parents and to our children. It's hard to imagine we are back to school. Many schools and our public schools started this week. If they hadn't started already, they'll start next week. And so kids, just enjoy the next few days. If you haven't gone to school already, it's happening. So it's August, and usually it's a lot hotter, and I don't want to jinx it, but right now we're having a pretty mild August, been a mild summer, a lot of rain. But August is a time when we really, here in Natchez, kind of take a breath and get ready, because fall is coming up, and along with it, a lot of fall events. So I want to talk about what's coming up. Last week, I had the pleasure, last Wednesday morning, to attend the monthly meeting of our downtown merchants. It's our Downtown Natchez Alliance. And this is part of Mississippi Main Street. Natchez, just a couple years ago, got back into Main Street, and we are so grateful to have DNA. Well, Leah Hunter, who is our new director of Natchez, Downtown Natchez Alliance, conducted the meeting last week, and it was chock full of great information on events coming to downtown and to Natchez. They're going to be having the pumpkin patch again.
Right.
Going to also be having various events centered around downtown merchants. In fact, at Arts Natchez, having an open house this Saturday night.
Mm-hmm.
What are the hours?
From 5 to 7 p.m.
And who's the featured artist?
Oh, friend,
German.
let's see. What's his name again?
Terry German.
There you go.
He's a
I
friend
knew
of
you
mine
knew.
from Jackson,
There you go.
actually, and we're excited that he's having a show
Yeah.
of his art. He by day he's an attorney, but he's really a gifted photographer.
Right.
Should be great.
Right.
And Arts Natchez is a great gallery, if people haven't seen it, right across from Darby's in the heart of downtown.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that in view of everything coming up,
Mm-hmm.
it would be a good time to talk about something. And Facebook, I've got it pulled up on my phone. You can see it here on my phone. There it is. And folks who are listening on the radio, it is the Natchez Events Calendar.
Oh,
and you
okay.
go to visitnatchez.org, visitnatchez.org, and this is a chance for you to plan from now to the end of the year and get ready. It's a lot of stuff. First of all, I want to do a shout out. Got a beautiful picture here on peaches. Some beautiful fresh peaches to be had at the Natchez Farmers Market. They also still have fresh tomatoes, vegetables of all sorts, and also baked goods, and even some great lemonade and some great woodworking and other crafts, jewelry. Go to the Farmers Market. One of the best things we've got going, Mr. Leon.
That's
and
right.
it's there every Saturday morning. And they usually start around 9 o'clock, go till noon. And if you haven't been to the farmer's market, you're missing out. That is every Saturday.
On Broadway.
On Broadway, right across, right up from the Depot Visitor Center, and kind of just down from Smoot's.
Right.
It's just right there.
Yeah.
Great place.
By the post office.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Warning, the last time I went with plenty of cash in my pocket, and I walked. When I left, I had zero cash in my pocket, and I had to hitch a ride because I bought so much stuff I couldn't walk back home. Now, in a couple of weeks, the Natchez Little Theater is again presenting a great little play called Casserole, and it will be August 21st, August 24th, August 22nd. We've already talked about this weekend, the art show at Arts Natchez, free gallery. Well, another free art show coming to Arts Danu, the Garden of Earthly Delights, and they have a renowned artist coming in. Be a great show. You know, that is a great little gallery.
Coco's,
Conde Contemporary. Coco.
Yeah, we call it Coco's.
Coco. And Stacy Conde and her husband, who is a Cuban artist, Andres, they moved the studio from Florida, Miami Beach area. They moved it here during COVID and never looked back.
Right.
In fact, Marla and I were there just a week ago, Saturday night, enjoying a wonderful dinner. So many courses, we lost count for our Natchez Food and Wine Festival. Wow. Give a shout out to Lynn Jenkins at our Natchez Chamber of Commerce. What a great festival. In fact, the opening on Friday night, the convention center had close to 800 people.
Wow.
And many of them, we're finding out about 2/3 of them were first-timers or people who have either just now coming to Natchez, they are out-of-towners, and I met a few at this dinner, and they are ready to look for a place to buy. So that's another subject. The annual Leadership Natchez Kickball Tournament is August 23rd at Duncan Park, and that will be a really exciting event. I'm not going to give too many details. You can go, again, to visit natchez.org, look at the events calendar. But August 26th, you know, we're gearing up for the Natchez Literary Cinema Celebration. And there's been a lot of talk about the history of horses in Natchez. You know, we used to have a racetrack under the hill.
Yeah.
People didn't realize that.
Yeah.
And we used to have a lot of equestrian activity here in Natchez. We still have a lot of equestrians in our city. And so this is an author who wrote a novel called Horse, and she has won the Pulitzer Prize, Mary Beth Gibson, no relation to me that I know of, and she will be at the Historic Natchez Foundation on August 26th, that evening, talking about her book.
Wonderful.
We also will have her again having a program and book signing. This is actually Geraldine Brooks, another author who is tied in with the same author, September 12th, and that's coming to the Grand Hotel. Hard to believe it, but I always say gear up, because August is kind of, get your breath. September it happens. Do you know that Fall Pilgrimage will be happening again in September? It will begin September 25th, running to October 11th. A lot of beautiful old historic homes on the pilgrimage. Also in September, there will be an amazing mystery coming to the Natchez Little Theater, and it is based on the Stephen King novel Misery.
Yeah.
Do you remember the movie with Kathy Bates?
Yeah.
I would not want her to take care of me. And it's basically, it's a psychological thriller. Well, that will be shown September 25th at our Natchez Little Theater. Then, we always look forward to this, Oktoberfest at the Natchez Brewing Company, and that will be September 27th. Also, September 27th, we will have a real interesting tour and program at Sunnyside, the Morning Tour, the death and wake of Annie Stewart. And it is a true story of a young lady who passed away at Sunnyside, historic home here in Natchez. Then the Natchez Garden Club Fall Pilgrimage begins September 27th, running through October 28th. This is going to give people almost a full month of homes to tour and various tours to take. Excited about that. Oh, we also will have an interesting tea. This is being held at the Grand Hotel, and it will include Stories of the River September 28th. And then from October 1st to October 15th, Frogmore, which is a historic property on the other side of the river in Faraday, Frogmore's going to have their annual event where people can come and see actual process of picking and ginning the cotton on a real cotton farm. So come to Frogmore and check that out. We have Bikers Weekend on the Bluff coming up. We have Junkin' on the River coming up. We have the Miss Lou Makers Market, and then the Pumpkin Patch. We'll be getting in October. Now here, Mr. Leon, I'm not going to read all this because in October, I think it's 50 different events from October to the end of the year between fall events, festivals, and Christmas events. But the big one is, and people need to be setting their calendars right now, 40th Annual Natchez Balloon Festival. That will be the third weekend of October. Already announced a great lineup of music. And for the first time ever, it's actually going to be held on Sunday as well. So, what's that? It's not the first time ever? First time in many years, I guess.
Yeah.
First time in my recollection.
Also, I'm at the gallery. We're already getting calls about the 40th.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
Balloon Festival.
It's going to be a big deal.
Yeah.
Being that it is
Already?
the 40th.
Yeah.
And I guess it was a few years back that they had events on Sunday, but that hadn't been the case.
It's been quite a while.
For quite a while. That's Michael Wilson, by the way, folks, you're listening
Yeah,
to.
that handsome voice you hear in the
And-
background, that's the
and
one, the
Michael-
only Michael
and
Wilson.
Michael is very involved with the festival behind the scenes and
Absolutely.
promotion.
He's a
And
photographer,
so-
cinema photographer
Yeah.
also.
And so that festival, mark your calendars, so much to look forward to. Always a great event. And I've been told everything's already sold out here in Natchez, although usually people can find something if they really start calling around.
Oh,
There'll
you
be
mean places
cancellations.
to stay?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that's right. And then I've got to do a shout out also about something that I think is a perennial hit, and that is Angels on the Bluff. I am told they may have come close to selling out already. First weekend in November, we look forward to Angels on the Bluff. Go online, Google for tickets, and sometimes even if you can't find tickets and they're sold out, when you come to Natchez, there will be a few hotels that will have extra tickets available for their guests. But that Angels on the Bluff is one of my favorite events.
It is truly an awesome event.
You want to
is.
describe it, Mr. Leon, because for someone who's never seen it, it's hard to really imagine.
Right. Basically, it's theater, as we say, theater in the round, where local citizens portray people that are buried there,
Yes.
that are famous.
And tell their stories.
Yeah, and tell their stories with props and the whole thing. Fantastic.
Oh, it is great. You're right.
Fantastic.
Props, the luminaries that are all
Right.
through the cemetery, the torches. It's just a really great time.
Yeah.
And I have to always do a shout out for this because it's our #1 fundraiser for the city cemetery.
Okay.
And we raise that one weekend, the volunteers who put this on, and it is dozens and dozens of volunteers. It takes a lot to do this.
Absolutely.
And they will actually make anywhere from 60 to 70, 75,000 in that one weekend. And it really does help support the cemetery. You know, we have to support the cemetery from taxpayer funds to a much lesser extent because of all the private donations that go to our cemetery. Then we get into Christmas, and oh my goodness, before you know it, people. Tell me if I'm wrong. You go back to school, and next thing you know, we're having Halloween and then Christmas, and let's not skip Thanksgiving, but it's something all the time. Now, then we get to January, and it slows down, and people say, "Oh, it just really slows down in January." Well, they say that about the summertime too. The heat, it does slow down, but let's talk about that Food and Wine Festival. The idea behind that was to get people coming to Natchez during the slow season. January going into August, hot weather, things would tend to slow down. Do you know the last weekend of July, we were sold out in Natchez because of the Food and Wine Festival. Just a few years ago, the Chamber of Commerce, Lynn Jenkins, working with many wonderful people, volunteers,
Right.
And so many who had
And quality
loved
chefs.
this, and quality chefs,
Yeah.
brought this back. Well, they brought this year over 20 very fine chefs from all over the region, and they had a number of signature events. Every major event was sold out. They had that big event at the convention center on Friday night, and then on Saturday they had 3 special seated dinners, multi-course dinners, and each course was provided by a different chef, and they even had special wines in, and they had sommeliers, fancy for somebody who really knows their wine,
Right.
and they had special bourbon tastings and other events. Well, that event brought so much business to Natchez during a time that normally we would be slow, that we've been looking for an event that we can do in January. And so I guess I'll give a little soft announcement on this. We're going to have a great event, the Mississippi Songwriters Festival,
Hey.
that is held every fall in Ocean Springs. Well, they've been looking for a place to have a winter event, and they have chosen Natchez. So the last weekend of January, when, again, we're usually slow, we're going to be hosting the Mississippi Songwriters Festival. And these are songwriters from all over the state who just, do everything from have clinics on songwriting to actual concerts and actual gatherings and just sitting around a few acoustic guitars and just strumming. So that'll be a great event to look forward to in January.
We'll see. Then you with the piano.
Well, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But I have managed to write a few songs over the years.
There you go.
Hey, speaking of music, I want to share something. We're coming up on the hour, and we just covered a lot of good positive news. This morning, I gave a talk, as I said, greeting those who come here each year, getting ready for the school year for Head Starts.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people there. And after my little talk, I was visiting the people, and a lady said, "Why didn't you sing?" Because I do sometimes sing at these events.
Mm-hmm.
I said, "I don't know. I almost did."
Mm-hmm.
And she said, "Well, you should have sung. In fact, why don't you sing for us right now?" So I sang to the table this morning, and they were all very sweet. And I actually sang one of my favorite songs to sing in the morning is "In the Morning When I Rise, Give Me Jesus." So I sang that. And so she said, "Now, next time the Holy Spirit says sing a song, you follow it. You follow Him, the Holy Spirit. You sing that song." I said, "Okay, I will. I will." She said, "And later today, I think you should just go live and sing a song. Sing a song. Just share some of that joy of faith." And so, hey, I don't know. Should I sing a song?
You got it, young man.
Should I sing a song?
You
We were
got
just
it,
talking
young
about
man.
the Songwriters Festival.
That's right. You've got a few minutes.
We were just okay. Well, I tell you what, I'm going to share a song that has been on my heart a little bit lately, and it is my answer to those who say, "Why are you doing this?" And I know as mayor I could be doing, I could be doing any number of things. In fact, there are, I think, some people who get into public service for the wrong reasons. If you're honest, I don't know how you'd ever get rich being a politician. So definitely not in it for the money. If you actually really want to just live a real posh life and kind of live the lifestyle of the rich and the famous, well, if you're in for the right reasons, politics, that should not be for you. No, I think too many people go into politics, what's in it for me? I think I'm more in it, what's in it for the people? How can I make a difference? And then I go to my faith, and I realize, well, God has a calling on all of us. And I believe He's called me to this purpose. And I know that if I do it in my own flesh, I will fail. I know I have to do it through the Spirit and through the faith that God has put in me. When God calls you to something, you got to step out and do it. And as you're doing it, you've got to continue to trust in Him. And you've got to lean not on to your own understanding, as Solomon said in Proverbs, but rather to lean unto God. If I lean under my own understanding, I will fail every time. But the Word says, in all thy ways, lean not under thy own understanding, but in all thy ways acknowledge Him, and He will direct your paths. You've also got to know that God's in this, and follow Him. And if you follow Him, He will get it done. I think that's why we've had so much progress. I think that's why we are having the retail developments. Just talking to a developer out here in the car before I came in. I just know that great things have been happening and great things are in our future because we as a community put God first. And as your mayor, I have decided to follow Jesus. 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 No turning back, no turning back. Though none go with me, I still will follow. Though none go with me, I still will follow. Though none go with me, I still will follow. No turning back, no turning back. You know what's encouraging about Natchez, Mr. Leon?
What's that?
Is we have so many Spirit-filled people here who do follow Jesus. And I want to do a shout out right now to all of those who give me encouragement every day. Sometimes it's on Facebook, sometimes in a text message, messages left at City Hall, emails. Sometimes people literally rolling their windows down and calling out to me an encouraging word. Sometimes happen today. Sometimes like going to the church last night. Thank you for what you're doing. And then those who do say, don't let the critics get you down. Keep doing what you're doing. We see it. Well, I just want to say it continues to be the blessing of my life to be mayor of Natchez and to be one who follows Jesus. And if none go with me, I still will follow. But the great thing about Natchez is I know that so many are following, and to God be the glory. And so that's it. I think that's a wrap. Looks like, Mr. Leon, you've got a good song primed. Let's stay on live a little bit so Facebook can hear this wonderful song. God bless you, Natchez.
97.7 The Beat. That is Natchez Renewal Radio with the mayor, Dan Gibson, right here. 97.7 The Beat. Want to say good evening.